Okay, so hi everyone. I think someone's mic is on. Please keep it off.
Hi Rupam.
Hello, sir.
Hi, hi. Yeah. Okay, so obviously we are here to learn JavaScript and our workshop starts today. It's a live workshop, as you know. The timing will be 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. every day. Okay, so Monday to Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., the Indian Standard Time Zone. Okay, so make sure the timing is right and you're joining the workshop on the right time. We'll start daily at sharp 7 p.m. Okay, there might be a few minutes delay or we might start a few minutes early, but it will be around 7 only. It won't be much like half an hour or something like that. If there is a certain change, I will obviously let you know. This workshop is divided into three phases, or you can say it is a 3 weeks long workshop. In the first week, we'll be diving into JavaScript. We'll be covering most of our topics that are to be covered in JavaScript. All the basic topics, all the intermediate topics that are there that we can explore in JavaScript, basically, we'll cover each and every topic among them. Okay, I'll try to like brainstorm and collect all the topics that are available there and try to cover all of them. Obviously, not all the topics can be covered because there doesn't exist such a course or a workshop where everything in JavaScript can be covered. It's not just feasible, right? Uh, you can't just learn everything at once. Obviously, after this workshop, also you will see that there are few topics, there are a couple of topics that can be covered when you read a certain article or something like that. Okay, that will be small topics and that won't be like a defining moment in your JavaScript career. They won't be like that. Okay, so I'll try to cover all the major topics that are there. You will not need any course or any workshop, at least for JavaScript after this workshop. Okay, after you attend this workshop, you will not need any course or JavaScript for JavaScript. I think I don't know what I just said. Let me repeat once again. Okay, so I just meant to say that after this workshop, you will not need any other course for JavaScript to be covered in order to cover any such topic. Okay, there might be a couple of more topics that you can learn from some article or some video on YouTube, but they will be small topics. Okay, or some just term in the JavaScript that I didn't cover because I forgot about it, or it I just felt that it wasn't that important. Okay, anything may be the reason. If you feel that any such topic I haven't covered even after this workshop, just let me know. I will make a video on that and will provide you it as a bonus lecture. Okay, so in the first week, we'll be diving into our JavaScript. In the second week, we'll be working on our projects. The projects will be around 15. Okay, around 15 projects we'll be covering. And in those 15 projects, I'll make sure that all the topics that we have covered in the week one, all of them are covered. Okay, so that we are hands on with JavaScript after those projects and we have enough practice that you after these 15 projects you will be able to make your own projects in JavaScript. Okay, in the third week we'll move on to our advanced topics. Okay, and few bonus lectures. Advanced topics such as asynchronous JavaScript and Ajax that will be covered in the third week after we have covered our basic and intermediate topics and few of our projects that we are supposed to do in this workshop. Throughout the workshop, we'll have doubt sessions. Doubt sessions will be live. So suppose currently I'm taking a lecture and in the next 15 minutes, I'll cover a certain topic. Let's assume that. After I finish the topic, I'll ask you if you have any doubts or not. If you have any doubt, you can ask them to me and I'll answer uh, at the exact same time. Okay, so suppose I'll start with strings. Okay, and in the next 15 minutes I'll cover strings. And if you feel that you have a doubt somewhere, then just sit for next 15 minutes and after I'm finished you can ask your doubt. Why am I saying that? Because if you keep interrupting me and if you keep on asking doubts while I'm teaching you, then we won't be able to make a connection, and I won't be in a flow where you will not be able to understand things properly. So make sure after we have covered topic, I'll only ask you that if you have any doubts or not. You will get your chance. Okay. So wait for your chance, and as soon as I do say that ask your doubts, you can ask your doubts and I'll answer them. I hope that is very, very clear. So these are 3 phases and 3 weeks. Now, my primary and the most important goal is going to be make you comfortable with JavaScript. Okay, the only goal at the end of the workshop that I'm having is to make you comfortable in JavaScript. I don't have any other goal. Okay, I have written 2 more goals that apply theory and build your own projects. But the most important one is making you comfortable with JavaScript, so that even if you're not making full-fledged website after this workshop, you're comfortable at least in that subject. So that if you look at a certain topic, you know that how to work on this and how to apply this if you have to work on a certain segment of your project. Okay, and that's how our projects are. They are not some major projects or portfolio projects. No, none of them are. Whoever asked me that whether we'll be making portfolio, I simply replied with a no, because there aren't any portfolio projects in this workshop. Obviously, after this workshop, we'll move into React.js. There we have lots of portfolio projects, but in this I don't have any, because I think with JavaScript, first you should make your fundamentals very, very clear, and you should know how you are applying whatever you have learned. And obviously, at the end of this workshop, you will be able to build your own projects. So don't worry about that. I'll make sure of that. Okay. After this workshop, you will be able to pick your framework. So basically, JavaScript has a lot of frameworks and library. The most popular ones are React, Angular, and Vue. I personally teach React. I have used React, okay, and that is why I teach it. I like it. But you can move on to Angular also and Vue also, whichever you prefer, whichever your career prefers, like whichever is your most preference. Like if you are applying for a certain company or you're applying for a certain internship and there they need Angular or Vue, you can learn that. I personally use React and I teach React also. So it's totally up to you, whichever you want to learn. Okay, now let's come to this. After your lecture ends at 9 p.m., okay, so 2 hours lecture, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. After that ends, you'll get your recording at least after 3 to 4 hours after the lecture ends. Suppose the lecture ends at 9 p.m., then you might get the recording at 12 p.m. midnight or 1 a.m. Okay, some around that. At least it will take 3 to 4 hours for me to post the recording, to like process it properly and upload it on YouTube. Now, when I say YouTube, I don't mean that it will be publicly available. No, it will not be available for everyone. It will only be available just for you on your registered email ID. Okay, and you will only be able to access that recording if you are using your registered email ID, and that should be a Gmail ID. If you have not registered with Gmail ID, you can send me your Gmail ID along with your registration receipt. I'll change that in my database. Okay, so I hope this is also very clear. So I just mean to say that you will only be able to access the recording of this workshop with your registered email ID, or preferably, or should I say, your registered Gmail ID. The classes will be from Monday to Friday. The timing will remain same, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. If there is any change in this timing, I will let you know. Here I have written the timing week 2 is 7:30 to 9:30. No, it's not. It's same as 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Okay, don't focus on that. Bonus lectures will be provided at the end of the workshop, so you don't need to worry about that. How can you contact me, or how will I contact you? I will contact you through these 3 ways: WhatsApp group that you are currently a part of, community group, which I'll be sharing link tonight or tomorrow. Okay, I'll share the link of the community group where you can engage with each other and ask your doubts, share study material if you have any, share notes if you have made any, or just a community group basically. Okay, to share resources, to share things, to share your views. Just don't promote anything. Okay, any external thing, just don't promote anything. If you find some useful video or blog or article, you can share that as well over here. How can you contact me? So try to contact me with this email address, webdevarmy@gmail.com, hq@gmail.com. Okay. And I'm also admin of your WhatsApp group. Okay, that is my only number. There is no other number that I'm having. And if you want to message me, you can just message me from that number. Try avoiding messaging me on WhatsApp directly. Try to email me or ask your doubts on the community group. Okay, I'll answer there. Because if you like message personally to me, I might not be able to answer that because I skip most of my messages. Okay, I don't even look at them. But yeah, community group I always check. So make sure that if you have any doubt, you ask your doubts on the community group, or you can just email me. There might be a just a tiny bit um, chance that someone might pretend that they are Rupam Gupta, that is me, and they might want to sell you something or ask you for money, or I don't know whatever they might ask for. Make sure that it's me only, because I will never message you for something like this. I will never ask you for money. I will never ask you to enroll into something. If I have to promote something, if I have to promote my course, if I have to sell my course, I will like give you notification either through your email address or in your WhatsApp group. I will never message you personally. Okay, so keep that in mind. Structure of the workshop, I'll start with the info that I have just done. I'll tell you that what do you need for your dev environment setup. Then we'll start with the theory. With the theory, I don't mean to say um, definitions. Okay, I don't like definitions and I don't teach them. So I will never like teach you that okay, this is the definition of this particular topic. I personally don't know any definitions and I don't teach them. I'll teach you how to implement a certain thing and how to make a project out of it. That will be me, and that's how I will teach. The only way how you can master JavaScript or any other programming language is repetition and making projects. Excuse me, just a sec. Sorry about that. As long as you're making projects and repeating whatever is taught to you, at least after the lecture or before coming to the lecture or anytime in your day, whenever, if you can repeat what I have just taught you, okay, just practice by yourself and make projects on that particular thing, then believe me, you will master JavaScript and beat any other programming language. It's same for each of them. Okay, so I hope that that is also very, very clear. That is for you that how you can master JavaScript if you are really here for that. Okay, I'll tell you this. So now you'll need two things. First is your Chrome browser. Okay, basically you can have any other browser also. If you have Mozilla Firefox or Safari, that will also work. In React I need Chrome because we have developer tools for that, but for JavaScript you can go along with any browser that you like. The second thing that we'll need is VS Code. So just write on your favorite search engine VS Code download. Click on this link, download Visual Studio Code, and download your Visual Studio Code according to your operating system. Okay, so if you have a Windows like I have, you can click on this and download it. If you have Ubuntu, click on this. If you have Red Hat, click on this. If you have Mac, click on this. It's very simple. Just follow the instructions that are over there. Just check mark them, click on next, 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 and install it. So this is the code editor that I'll be using. You must be using this if you are here. I'm assuming that you already know HTML and CSS, right? So like you might be having this Visual Studio code editor. If you're not having this, you might be having Atom or some other code editor. That is also fine, no issue with that. You can use any code editor that you like. I personally use VS Code, so I'll be teaching through that only. I hope this is also very clear. So that was a bit of intro and a few information that I wanted to give you before we dive into JavaScript. Now, what is JavaScript? Basically, JavaScript is a scripting language which is used to create and control the dynamic website content. Okay, so what was that? What did I just say? Let's search for something like this: HTML, CSS, and JS. Let's look at a certain image and have a look at this. Now, here, your HTML is a skeleton, right? So basically, it's the structure, right? Your skeleton is the structure for your body. Consider yourself and look at your skeleton. I mean, obviously, you can't look at a skeleton, but just have a look at this picture. In this picture, you can see the skeleton, and that is the structure of your body. Whole of your body is standing or covered with that skeleton only, right? It's standing on that. So HTML is basically a skeleton or the structure for your website. So suppose I'm seeing this text over here, ALL, right? It becomes all after I combine them. I write ALL, then it becomes all. So obviously this all, or the images or videos text or news or books or more, or the sign, these three dots there that you are able to see, or this logo or this newspaper or this Google sign or this search bar, whatever you are able to see over here, it's all a structure. It has no functionality, it doesn't have any appearance, nothing. That is what HTML is, right? Now, if you look at CSS, CSS is nothing but styling, appearance, the clothes, skin, similarly the colors, right? Suppose I have to keep this input text, or you can say search bar over here. Then how do you put search bar over here? It's because I have styled it to be put over here on the at the top of my page. That is because of my CSS. If I click, look, if I hover on this, look, it gets a background color. Look, it's light, but you do get a background color, right? How? It's because of CSS. We have styled it such that we have given it color, we have given it underline. Look at this Cora. If I hover on this, it gets an underline. How? It's because of CSS. But still, it doesn't have any functionality. It can have color, it can have this underline, but if I click on this, nothing is going to happen. How do you get this dynamic nature? How do you get some functionality into your website? So suppose if I click on this, just with HTML and CSS, nothing is going to happen. I can keep clicking on it and nothing is going to happen, isn't it? But now if I click on this, I get this sidebar. That's because of JavaScript. JavaScript makes your web page dynamic. Now I am able to interact with my web page. Suppose I click on this cross. Now look, my sidebar just goes back. Now I am able to interact with it. Right? Now I am able to interact with it. If I click on this, I get a certain options. How is that? It's because of JavaScript. Okay. If I click on this, I get this image over here. I can see this text. But how did it appear? It's because of JavaScript. I was able to interact with it. If I click on this, it will go away. If I click on it again, it comes back. If I click on this, next image. If I click on this, next image. How is this all happening? It's all because of JavaScript. Because now I am able to interact with my web page. Now I am able to put some functionality into my web page, right? So that's what JavaScript is. Now I can tell you theory things like JavaScript is the world's most popular language. Why? Because most of the, like 99% of all the websites that you see over the internet uses JavaScript. So it becomes the world's most popular language, and it is also known as language of web. That was a bit intro about JavaScript and about your workshop. in this, if you feel that you have any doubt or you want to ask something, you can raise your hand. I'll have a look at that. Yeah, Eddie. Eddie, have you got doubt? Okay, Darshan.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hi, Rupam. Hi. So basically, I have a doubt like
Mm-hmm.
this is basically the foundation of the JavaScript where you will discuss about the JavaScript and its elements like arrays, something like that, right?
Hmm.
But will you discuss about the DOM element, something like that
Yeah,
in this particular
obviously
work?
I'll have to cover DOM. Without DOM, there isn't any JavaScript.
Yeah, that's why I'm talking about because recently I attended one of the workshop, okay,
Hmm.
similar to that, but they did not discuss about the DOM elements, which is a
Hmm.
crucial element of the JavaScript.
No, no,
And
no. There isn't any
I
JavaScript without DOM, so don't worry about that. If you have any
uh,
doubts regarding the syllabus, you can go on to our website webdevarming.in/javascript, and here I have given complete syllabus. You can check each and every topic over here. Okay,
yeah,
that is part
yeah,
of
yeah.
this workshop.
So you will discuss advanced concepts also in the JavaScript, like you know,
Yeah, we'll be
some,
covering asynchronous JavaScript and Ajax in this.
that's what I wanted because this is the thing most of the people ignore it.
No,
So
no, no.
that's
We'll
why
be covering
I
that.
joined this workshop. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
thank you so much. Yeah.
Sure. Yes, Akansha.
Hi Rupam.
Hi.
So what's my doubt is, as you said, JS is a scripting language, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what makes it different from programming language?
So basically, the main difference you can say in a scripting language is that suppose you're working with C++. Okay, when you write a program in C++ and when you want to execute it, it creates a separate executable file. And whenever you have to run your program, you have to run that particular executable file and not just your code. In the case of scripting language, you don't create a separate executable file, rather you directly run your code. That is the main difference that most people don't understand, and I'll tell you the lame difference that most of the people think that that is the main difference. In programming language, the complete code is run at a single instance. Okay, while in scripting language, the code is run line by line. Okay, so suppose there are these three lines are of a code. Okay, and they are written in C++. Now my complete code will run at the same time. If I have error at even a single position, nothing will run, and it will show me that you are having an error at a certain point in your program. But when you work with a scripting language, first it will run this line, okay, and it will show into your browser. Then it will run this line, then it will show into your browser, then it will run this line. If there is an error in this line, then it will show that okay, there is an error in your third line, and I can't run this line. Okay, but with your languages like C++, what happens is if there is a like error in this third line, then it will also not like run this first line or this second line. Okay, it will just show you error. Got it?
Yeah, got it, Rupam. Thank you.
Sure. Yes, Pramod.
Yeah, hi Rupam.
Yeah.
Like actually, I'm already a working professional. Like I have like from front end side also I work. Like from this workshop, is this like I can get any advanced knowledge apart from this?
Hmm.
Like
I don't know what kind of advanced knowledge are you looking for, but again,
yeah,
as I
like
said, you can
yeah,
check the
like,
topics over here, and we'll be discussing each and every topic in
like
very much
yes,
detail.
yes,
So that
yes,
I
six
can.
topic.
ES6, yeah, we'll be covering that, obviously, yeah.
Yeah, okay, thank
Hmm.
you.
It's not like that I'll be taking a full lecture on ES6, but I'll be covering ES6 in bits. Okay, so I might cover a certain topic today, then tomorrow I might cover a certain topic, then on the third day I might cover a certain topic. So it might not be at the single sitting, but yeah, eventually we'll cover all the topics.
Like as a whole, by this workshop, it will be like intermediate level.
Yeah. Okay, let me quickly make a folder and we'll dive into that. Okay, so I'll make app.html. Okay, I'm not sure what was that. Okay, so here's my HTML file and let's make one more for JS. Huh. Okay, I'm not sure what is the problem over here. Alright, so here is our HTML file and obviously we are here to learn JavaScript. So what I'll do, I'll just create a h1 over here and I'll say JavaScript live workshop and there you go. Okay, I'll increase the font size so you're able to see. Yeah, let's run this, go live. Alright, so here you can see that we have a heading 1 of JavaScript live workshop. Now, we haven't covered anything in JavaScript until now. We don't know anything about JavaScript. I'll assume that even if you have worked on JavaScript or if you haven't worked on JavaScript, I don't really care. Okay, I have nothing to do with that. So I'll be covering JavaScript just as you are a newbie and you don't know anything in JavaScript. Okay, and even if you know something in JavaScript, just sit here with a student mindset so that you just keep on learning something. Okay, I'm pretty sure that even if you have worked enough on JavaScript, then also you will love this workshop and you are going to learn so much over here. Okay, let's start. Firstly, I'll start with something very basic. How do you write JavaScript? Like I know that, okay, here is my HTML file. I can create a CSS file. I can link them and I can write my JavaScript. I can write my CSS and HTML and I'll be able to see something on my web page, right? That we know this is our web page and if I write some HTML, I'll be able to see it over here. So that I'm very much aware of. Okay, but how do I write JavaScript? Basically, there are three ways how you can write JavaScript. Again, I'll repeat that there are three ways and there are not three types of JavaScript. There are three ways how you can write JavaScript. The first is inline.js. Now again, it is pretty much similar to how you used to write inline CSS. Okay, it's much more similar to that. Let's create a button. Okay, let's create a button and let's write click me. Now let's go over here. Now if I click on this, nothing is going to happen. I can keep clicking on it all day. Okay, I can sit here for next 2 hours for rest of our class, but nothing is really going to happen. So what do we do about it? We can write some JavaScript. In case of inline JavaScript, how do we write that? We write our JavaScript right inside our element. Okay, so suppose I have to give this button some JavaScript. So what I'll do, I'll say on click. Okay, don't focus right now on the syntax that I'm writing. So don't focus on that on click. Just focus on where I am writing this JavaScript. Okay, since I am writing it right inside the element, so suppose this button is over here. So if I'm writing this JavaScript over here, then this is inline JavaScript way of writing. Okay, so if I write on click alert hello people. Okay, now if you look, if I click on this click me, I'll get this alert pop up which says hello people. I click on OK and that will be it. You don't have to focus on click, you don't have to focus on alert right now. You just have to focus on that how I am writing my JavaScript and where I am writing my JavaScript basically. So in inline JavaScript, I have to write my JavaScript right inside my element, right inside my opening tag. I have to write my JavaScript over there. Okay, suppose I create one more button. I'll write this JavaScript right over here inside my element only, inside my open tag only. And if I go back, it will have the same functionality. Why? Because again, the same JavaScript is written. If I click on this, so basically on click, give me an alert pop-up which says hello people. Again, don't focus on the syntax part. We'll discuss it in much more detail. Right now, just focus on where I am writing JavaScript in case of inline.js. Okay, I hope this was very simple for you. Let's move forward. I have a second one, which is internal JS. Okay, now again, I'll make a button, and in this button, I'll say click me. Again, the same thing. I have this button and I can click on it and nothing is going to happen. Remember in CSS, we used to give something called class. Same thing I'm going to do over here. I'm going to give this a class of btn. Remember in CSS, if we had some class, we used to write something like this dot btn, and after that we used to write a styling, right? That was what we used to do. And we used to write that style tag over here, right? So I'll have a style tag over here, then I'll say btn, and suppose if I have to give color to this, or yeah, so let's give color to this. So I'll give color as white and background color as black. Okay, and if I do this, now you can see background color is black and color is white. I'll give some padding to it, suppose 4 pixels, and now it looks a bit better. Okay, so this is how you used to write your CSS. Similar to this, we have a way to write JavaScript. How? It's just that we don't write a JavaScript over here. Instead, after our HTML ends, we write our script over here. We have this script tag. We have an opening tag and we have a closing tag. Now inside this script tag, we write our JavaScript. Just as we have written this CSS over here, we will write our JavaScript over here. Now again, don't focus on the syntax that I'm going to write, just focus on how I am writing and where I am writing internal JavaScript. In case of our inline JavaScript, we wrote it over here. Okay, right inside my button only, right inside my opening tag. But for internal JavaScript, we have made button separately, or you can say I have made my HTML separately. Then inside my script tag, I am writing my JavaScript. So I'll quickly write some JavaScript to show you that it works. So I'll say query selector all. Again, you don't have to focus on all this syntax that I'm writing. Okay, you won't be able to understand it if you are a newbie and you are here learning JavaScript for the first time. I completely understand that, and that is why I'm saying that you don't have to focus on any of the syntax. Okay, we will cover everything in much more detail in our coming lectures, so don't worry about anything. Just focus on where I am writing this JavaScript. Okay, just as simple as that. You don't have to do anything extraordinary right now. So here also I have given this same command that if I click on any button with a class of btn, if I click on it, just alert me with this is awesome. If I go back over here, click me, I get this is awesome. Okay, now if you see over here, I can see this. If you like go back over here, you can see that in inline.js I was writing JavaScript over here, but for internal JS, first I'm making that button, okay, and then after that I'm writing this script tag after my HTML end. Inside my body tag only, I'm writing this script tag, and whatever the JavaScript that I have to write, whatever the functionality that I have to write, whatever the interaction that I have to make with the website, or I have to let the user have that interaction, I will write it inside my script tag only. Okay, I hope this is very, very clear. Suppose I'll make one more button. Okay, so it's not like that I'll have to write the CSS again. No, sorry, JavaScript again. No, as in the case of your CSS, once you wrote this and you have given the same class, okay, you don't need to write same JavaScript for again and again. Okay, so yeah, this JavaScript will apply to this button as well. So if you go over here and if you click on either of these buttons, you will get the same result. And that is what is the difference between inline.js and internal.js. And inline.js, you have to write your JavaScript again and again for each and every button. But for internal.js, you'll just have to specify their class or ID, whichever you prefer. And depending on that, you can write your JavaScript. We'll see all this in much more detail later on. Don't worry about that. Currently, just focus on where you write, how you write your inline.js and your internal.js. I hope this was very, very clear. Remember to write script tag at the end of your HTML. So if you look here, after I have completed my HTML, I'm writing my script tag. Okay, remember to do that. If you want, you can write your script tag over here also. That will also work. But the problem is you don't want to first like load your functions, then you want to show your text. So suppose if I write this script tag over here before my HTML, so what will happen? This functionality will come in first, and then you will be able to see this click me button. As you can see, there is no use of that functionality if you can't see that button, because first you have to click on that button, then only you will be able to use that functionality, right? But if I load my script tag first, then first my functionality will load, then only I will be able to see the content of my web page. That is of no use. First, let me see the content that is available on my web page, then only I need some functionality, right? Just suppose that I have a functionality and I can't see anything on the web page for a moment, even for 2 seconds. That will just throw me off. That will just throw your user off. Don't you think? So yeah, so make sure that you are writing first your HTML, then you are moving on to your script tag. Okay, I hope that is very, very clear. Let's move on to our third way how you can write your JavaScript, and that is external JS. Now focus on this, as you will have to tell why we are using external JS. If I can just use internal JS and I'll be able to use this, like I'll just have to write this class equals to btn and I can just write my JavaScript once and I'll be able to use it, right? In case of inline JS, I had to write my JavaScript again and again. But in case of internal JS, I did not need to do that. Then why is there a third way? And let me first tell you how do we write external JS, then you can tell me that why do we need this external JS. Okay, again I'll do the same thing. I'll create a button and I'll go over here and I'll say just random button. Okay, I'll give it a class of btn. Now I'll go to my app.js and here I'll write the same JavaScript that I was having over here. Okay, let's not waste our time and let's write it over here. Now, as you can see over here that I'm having this item.add-image-listener click same functionality. So if I go over here, if I click on this, I should see that pop up, right? Clicked on this, nothing is happening. Click on it again, nothing is happening. Why? Because if you look, there is no connection between this HTML and JavaScript file, right? They are not connected in any way. So what we'll do, just like over here in our internal JS, we will have a script tag to connect these two files, our HTML file with our JavaScript file. So I write this script src equals to app.js and now they are connected. So now whatever you write in JavaScript, it will be connected and it will be implemented on a HTML file. For external JS, what do? You just keep on writing your HTML. Okay, if you want, you can remove all this. I'm just keeping it for your reference. So okay, let's remove it for a moment. So if you look over here, and for your external JS, just keep on writing your HTML, whatever the number of buttons or whatever you have to write, just keep on writing that. Then at the end, just write your script tag, connect it with your HTML, and write your functionality, whatever you want to apply. Okay, once you're done with that, now let's check whether it works or not. So yeah, it works. Simple as that. Okay, so now my question is, why do we need external JS? I was comfortable with internal JS. First, I was comfortable with inline JS. I was just writing this JavaScript for each of my button that I needed. Then I was comfortable with the internal JS. After someone told me that okay, you don't need to write your JavaScript again and again. You can just write it once, and you can use your internal JS to do that. So I was comfortable with that. I was enjoying that. But then came external JS. Now, why do we need external JS? If I could have just used internal JS. Can someone tell me this? Why do we need external JS? Just whatever you think, whatever comes to your mind right now, just tell me.
So that the code is very organized.
No, it doesn't have a factor that code needs to be organized. No.
Actually, it creates a link between the two, file names, and it makes the, HTML and JavaScript code separately so that users can read it.
No, no, no.
It can be used multiple times.
How? But I was able to use this internal JS also multiple times, no? What do you mean?
Like for different pages, for
Correct.
different HTML pages.
Right, right, perfect. So now I can make here a second page also. So suppose I'll make app.html, app2.html. Okay, and over here I'll go and I'll write script tag. Now what I'll do, I'll connect my JavaScript and I'll make a button over here. I'll give it class of btn. Okay, and here I'll write page 2 button. Now look, what I'll do, I'll start my live server again. And look, I have not written any separate JavaScript for this. I have just connected the same JavaScript page, this app.js, with this HTML file. And look, it has the same functionality. So now I don't need to write this same JavaScript for this app2.html page also. So basically, when you use external JavaScript, you can connect the same JavaScript file with multiple pages, with multiple HTML pages. Okay, so yeah, that is the main reason why we use that. I hope that was very clear. If you have any doubt in the ways of writing JavaScript, inline JS, internal JS, or external JS, you can ask it. You can either unmute yourself and ask it on the mic, or you can just type it in the message box. I'll have a look at that.
Rupam, sorry to interrupt, but your voice is breaking in between. Can you just check it at
Okay, okay.
your end?
I think it must be fine now.
Yeah, it's fine.
All right. Okay, so if you have any doubt, just let me know. Either you can unmute yourself and ask, or you can drop it in the message box. Any other extensions? Yeah, I had an extension that I needed to tell you. I think I forgot about it. So yeah, if you look over here, I have 3 extensions that I personally use, and they're prettier. Okay, you can just go over here, look over here for prettier. It helps you to make your code organized. Okay, have a look at this prettier code formatter, and you can install this. The second one is bracket pair colorizer. So basically it's to make each and every bracket of different color. Okay, just so that you know where your bracket starts and where it is ending. Again, you can search it over here, bracket pair colorizer. Yeah, something like this. I think I have it installed, must be some different name, but yeah, it is a really useful extension. The third is obviously live server, which obviously you will need in order to work with JavaScript. So yeah, this also you can install. Okay. The other three, prettier, bracket pair colorizer, and live server. You can check them.
Rupam, for screenshot, do you have any extension? Like if I renders the code in the VS Studio and I have to take the screenshot.
You can
So
just
is there any
use
extension for
you
it?
can just use your like system's screenshot, no?
But actually, the code looks weird. So
In
that's
that
why I'm
case, you
asking.
can use I think Carbon. That
Okay.
is better. So you can just go on to Carbon. Uh, now sh something like this, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, yeah. You can use this carbon.now.sh and you can paste your code over here and you can do that.
Okay.
But
Thank you.
I don't use some special screenshot or something like that. Sorry about my cough though. Okay, anyone else? Any other doubt? Or you want to ask something? If you have any, just let me know. Okay, then let's move forward. Now you know how to write JavaScript. So that means we can move forward and we can work on. For most of our workshop, I'll be using external JS only because obviously that is much more useful, and we have a separate file for JavaScript where we can completely focus on JavaScript and not worry about any other text or something like that. Okay, so here I'll remove this and in our h1 I'll say JavaScript workshop by web dev army. Okay, our JavaScript file is connected. Let's go back and here I can see JavaScript workshop by web dev army. Now let's remove this. There's a certain console.log. Okay, let me start. So we'll be using this console.log throughout our workshop. Okay, so if I have this console.log and if I write hello world inside this, okay, now if you go back and if you see over here, you can't see anything. We have connected our app.html with our app.js, then also you can't see anything on your web page. So where is it? So basically it's in our console only. So what do? You go onto your web browser, right click on it, okay, right click on it, click on inspect, click on console, and there you go. You can see this hello world. Again, I'll repeat, right click, click on inspect, click on console. There is a shortcut for that, and that is Control Shift I. Control Shift and the letter I. So I'll be able to see this hello world. Now, for rest of this week, at least for next 1 week, or at least for next 3 to 4 days, I'll be using this console.log for most of the time. Okay, I'll keep using this uh, just to learn something. So suppose I have a variable and I have to look at its value. I will not see anything on my web page. I will see it in my console. I will only start my things to like my content on my web page when I start working with DOM. And the day when I start working with my DOM, I'll be able to see my content, I'll be able to see my text, I'll be able to see my heading all over my web page. But currently, for a couple of days, you will just see this line on your web page, and rest of the things we'll be doing in our console. Although there is one way how you can, like, if you are persistent towards like the no, I have to just write something in my web page, then you can use document.write for now, and suppose I'll write hello people if you write this document.write, then you will be able to see it on your web browser. Okay. Now you have a third way in which you get this alert pop-up. Okay, so suppose if I write alert, hello there, then once you go onto your web page, first you will see this alert pop-up which says hello there, and if you click on OK, rest of the content will follow. Okay, so these are the three ways that we'll be using most of the time, and for 95 or 99% of the time I'll be using console.log, with which you will be able to see your data or content in your console. So be comfortable with this, because as a JavaScript developer, most of the time you'll be working in console only. Okay, now let's move on to our first topic, and that is variables. Now I have a very fixed definition for variables, really, and really I have a very like fixed mentality on that part. Your variables are your, suppose you are creating a building. Okay, suppose you are a contractor or you are a constructor for that building. So how do you start? You start with your building blocks, right? If you have to construct a building, you have to make rooms in that. If you have to make rooms, you will have to create walls for that. And in order to create a wall, you have to create a wall with the help of blocks, right? So just like you have, in order to create a building, you have those blocks. Similar to that, in a programming language, to create your whole complete program, you have variables. And that is why I say that variables are most basic building blocks. Okay, whatever you have to write, whatever like program you have to create, the most basic thing there will be is variables. What do you do with variables? You store a certain information, you access that information, and you modify that information that you have already stored. So variable is used to for storage purposes, accessing purposes, and to modify that storage that you have just. I hope this is very clear. Now let's have a look into it. So suppose there is a guy with the name of John Shrimp Taco 6. There is some king with the name of this John Shrimp Taco 6. Okay, so you write this and you are able to see this in your console, John Shrimp Taco 6. You're comfortable with that, right? You go on and write some code. You again write some code. But while you were writing your code, you needed that name again, that king's name. So what do? You write John Shrimp Taco 6 and save, and I'm able to see that. You continue with your code. So some code goes over here and some code goes over here. Now you have to write that name again. So what do? You just write that John Shrimp Taco 6, and this continues. You will write code again and you will need that name again, and you will have to write that full name again. So that is hectic. And just suppose that you just misunderstood that it was John Shrimp Taco 6, rather it was John Shrimp Taco 4. So what will you do? You will just go on to each and every line and you will change it something like this, right? That is what you will do. Now in order to cater all this, you have something called variable. And as I said, you can store inside your variable, you can access that variable, and you can modify. How do you make a variable? So there are basically three ways how you can make a variable, and they are with let, var, and const. Okay, these are three ways. First we'll start with let, and eventually I'll explain what is the difference between all those three. So suppose I have to create a let variable with the name. Okay, name is the name of my variable, so I'll say let name equals to John Shrimp Taco 6. I'll save this. I'll come on to the next line and I'll say console.log. And now if I write name, you can see that I have John Shrimp Taco 6. Again, the same thing, I'll write some code, and if I need this name again, I can just write console.log name, and look, I can copy paste it again, and again I'll be able to see. And just as a moment, I remembered that it wasn't John Shrimp Taco 6, it was John Shrimp Taco 4. Then I only need to change it at a single position. Okay, here John Shrimp Taco 4, and there you go. It has been changed and been applied to all of them. I hope this was very clear.
Rupam, hello.
Yeah.
Why there is a strike through across the name element inside
Basically,
this?
it is deprecated from being used, but you can use it. It doesn't matter. Okay. All right. So this was just a intro towards your variable, how you can use them. So just create it, something like this, and wherever you have to use, just write that variable name. So suppose here the variable name was name, right? So I have written let name equals to John Shrimp Taco 4. So now if I have to use this value, then how do I use it? I use it with the help of my JavaScript variable. So here name, so I will write console.log name, and I am able to see this over here. Okay. Now let's look at a few more examples, then I'll be taking your doubts so that you're clear on the topic first. Let's start. So suppose I have to create an address variable. So it's not like that I'll have to write my address right over here. No, what I can do is first I can create the variable. I'll create another variable. So suppose I'll create a zip, and I'll also create state. Okay, I'll create these three variables. Now if I want, I can give them values. So suppose I have an address, and I'll give it a value of, I don't know, 221B Baker Street. Okay, in the next line I can go with the zip equals to 60612, and as for state I'll take it New Delhi, and I'll save all this. Now look, again I have created my variable and I have given it some value. So that means in this address variable I am storing this, in this zip variable I am storing this, in the state variable I am storing New Delhi. So no issue with that. Now I can console.log whichever variable I want. So suppose I want to look at address. What is my address? So I'll say console.log address, and there you go, 221B Baker Street. Console.log zip, and there you go, 60612. Console.log state, and there you go. One more thing, you don't need to create these variables separately. What you can do is you can write it something like this as well: address zip state. Okay, and now if you look, they will work the same way. There will be no change. Just make sure then that whenever you're making multiple variables, you write a comma in between. Okay, before you start another variable, just make sure that you are writing comma to separate them. Okay, so here I have created three variables: address, zip, and state, and here I am storing some values inside them, and here I am able to access those values. Here, so I'm storing and I'm accessing. I haven't modified yet, so let's modify something. So suppose my like state was this New Delhi, but then I remembered that no, earlier I had to use my state as New Delhi, but after using this state, after some time, I have to change my state to Los Angeles. Okay, just out of nowhere, I just wanted to change my state to LA. So can I do that? Yeah, you can do that. I just did that. State equals to LA. If you write that, that will be it. You don't need to write let now. You can just write state equals to LA. And now if you console.log, you'll be able to see that now the state has been changed to LA. Earlier it was New Delhi, but as soon as you changed your state to LA and you tried to look for your state was changed to LA. Creating the variable, storing some value inside it, and accessing it, changing it, and accessing it again. I hope this is very, very clear. Though there are some rules, whenever you are making your variable, there are some rules that you have to keep in mind. So I'll just write over here rules for naming the variables. The first rule is basically not a rule but just an info that it can contain, okay, can contain digits, letters, underscore, basically this sign, okay, underscore, and a dollar sign. These are the four things, or you can say these are the four commands or letters or whatever you want to call them. Only these can be used inside a variable. Nothing else can be used. Not dash, not your at the rate sign, not your question mark sign, not your less than sign, not your greater than sign. No, none of them can be used. Only these four can be used. Either it should be a digit 0 to 9, it should be a letter A to Z, or underscore, or a dollar sign. Second rule, it must contain, must start with letter, dollar sign, or underscore sign. It can contain digits, but it cannot start with a digit. Okay. It cannot use any keyword. So if you look over here, like this let is a keyword. It is appearing in a different color also. So this let is a keyword. If I write a function over here, this function is also a keyword. So this function cannot be used to create your variable name. Okay, so keywords cannot be used in order to create your variable names. We will see what are the different keywords in our upcoming workshop. But even if you try to use a certain keyword, then it will give you error and it will tell you that okay, you have used a keyword and please revert that. Don't use that. Okay, we'll see an example also. Don't worry. Now let's see an example for this only. So suppose I'll create a keyword with a let keyword. Okay, I'll say let equals to random, and I'll say console.log let. I'll save this, go back, and it says let is disallowed as a lexically bound name. So basically it is telling you that you have used a keyword and as specified in your rules that you can't use keyword. Okay, so make sure of that. Now as I said, you can use um, letters, you can use digits, you can use dollar sign, you can use underscore, you can use all four of them. So suppose I'll write just random text over here and I'll say console.log random 123 dollar dash, oh sorry, underscore. If you do this, I can see random text appearing over here. But if you try to start your variable name with a digit, then it will not allow you to do that. So I'll say one random equals to random. I'll try to console.log one random, and if you see, you will see an error invalid or unexpected token at JS 46.5. So 46 lines and fifth letter, and you can see over here that you are using a unexpected or invalid token. So as said, you must start with letter, dollar, or a underscores. As soon as you are doing that, you're good to go and you'll be able to see your content. Okay, so just have a look at the code. Let's take a 5 minutes break and just have some water and just go on whatever you have to do. Okay, just take a fresh air just for 5 minutes. Currently it says 25 and we'll be back at 2010. Okay, gather your doubts. I'll come back and we'll discuss some doubts and then we'll move on to our next topic. Just have a look at this. Okay. Okay, so let's take your doubts now, if you have any.
Rupam, can you explain the strike through reason for the name
As I said,
as
it
a
is
variable?
basically in your VS Code, it is saying that it is deprecated from being used. So if I use this, have a look. And if I hover on this, it says that name is deprecated. Okay, the declaration was marked as deprecated here. So basically, whenever something is marked as deprecated, it is supposed to be deleted. Okay, if it is a functionality, so suppose this were some functionality in your JavaScript. Okay, so suppose array is a deprecated thing. So what will happen after some time? JavaScript will discontinue array from being used. Okay, you will not be able to use array anymore. So similar to that,
Will
that this is saying that VS Code is saying that this name is being deprecated. Okay,
okay, okay.
so it's as that. But I don't think that you can just deprecate name from being used. So you
So
can
will
just
it
use.
affect in console.log repository? I don't think so, right?
Sorry.
If the name is deprecated, will
Hmm.
it affect in console.log?
If the name is
Like,
if the name is
like,
deprecated.
like, let's say you have assigned a variable let with the name zone shrimp taco sport,
All right.
right?
Yeah.
And you write a statement just like in Python there is a print statement. In
Hmm.
JavaScript there is a console.log statement with the
Hmm.
name itself,
Hmm.
and the name is deprecated. Will it affect in console.log if the name is strike through, if the name is deprecated? That's what I means. I
No, no,
meant to
no,
say
no.
that.
Deprecated thing doesn't matter. If it's deleted, that you then you won't be able to use. So basically, the thing that comes into deprecated are when they are about to be removed. Okay, this
It is
what.
temporary removal, right?
No, no, it will be removed permanently after some time. If
Okay,
something is marked as deprecated, that means that their developers are trying to remove that particular thing permanently.
okay,
So suppose
okay,
name is deprecated over here, so that means that you won't be able to use name after 6 months or a year. You won't be
okay,
able to use that. So they are telling
okay,
you in a way that remove this functionality from your code and use something else.
okay.
Okay, we are going to
Got,
remove this. Developers are telling you this. It's
got it.
just that.
Yeah, that's it. That's my doubt. Yep.
Yeah. Anyone else? Any other doubt? Variables are simple, but obviously they are really, really like important to know. Basics should be very, very clear if you want to like really master something. So make sure that you have understood this properly, and if you haven't, you can ask your doubts. We are here for that one. Okay, so I think everything is clear, and we can move forward. So as you can see over here, that I have specified that you can make a variable with this let. Similarly, there are two more ways how you can make it, and they are where and const. So now we are going to see difference between lar versus where versus const. One by one, we'll see each of them. So suppose I'm using where now. Okay, I'm using where. So I'll write where. Okay, now I'm creating my variable with this where keyword. I'll say where value equals to some value. Okay, I'll just give some value to it. No issue with that. And if I console.log value, There you go. I can see some value over here. All right, fine. No issue with that. I was able to do the same thing with let also, right? Now what I'll do, I'll change this value to some other value. So earlier it was some value. Now I'm changing this to some other value. So will it be changed? Yeah, I can change this. I can see some other value over here. Now what happens is, can I change this to number? Yeah, I can change this to number also. It doesn't matter. I can see 0 now. Now what happens is I continue to write some code. Okay, I wrote my code for suppose 100 lines. Then what did I do? I again started this value variable. I wrote where value equals to my new value. Can I do this? Can I do this with where? Let's see. I can see this my new value over here. So that means, yeah, you can do this with where you are able to define your variable again. Okay, not just that you're changing the value, but you are able to make that variable, you are able to define your variable again with the help of where. If you have made your variable with where, you can change this again. Okay, simple as that. I hope this is clear. Let's look at let. Now I'll write let over here and I'll say name equals to Rupam. Okay, now let name equals to Rupam. But I remembered that, okay, I have a different name. Suppose my name is Mayank. Can I do this? Can I change my name to Mayank? Let's see. Console.log name. We have already seen this, so you already know that, yeah, we can do this. And I'll be able to see Mayank over here. So not an issue with this. But again, I did the same thing. I wrote some code and I forgot that I made this variable with the name of name. So what did I do? I started creating this name again. And I wrote over here name equals to, I don't know, let's write Shubham. Okay, and now I'll try to console.log name. You can already see those underlines that we can't use that. So console.log name, and you can see identify name has already been declared. So that means in case of your variable, you can declare your variable again if you want. But in case of your let, you can't do the same thing. So have a look over here. In case of where, first I made that variable. Okay, I declared it first, then I defined some value to it, and I was able to change the value. So that was all fine. But again, I declared the variable. So suppose here I created this value, I am again creating this variable with the name of value with the help of where. I was able to do this with the help of where, but I can't do this when I'm using let. Okay, so I can only declare my variable once when I'm using name, but I can change my value if I want to. Okay, so a simple difference. You can change values in both, but you can't define in both. Okay, so I'll write over here. Can be declared and changed. Can be changed. Okay, but you can't define it again. So in this where you can declare and change, and in let you can only change the variable. Let's look at the third way when you're using const. Now when you're using const, as it suggests, it means constant. So it can neither be changed nor be declared. Okay, so you can neither declare it again, and neither you can nor you can change it. So let me show you with an example. So suppose I'll create const last name, or let's take a number. So const number equals to 44. Okay, This is a number that I have taken. Now if I want to console.log, it will just work as a normal variable, and I can see 44 over here. Right? No issue. Now what do I want to do? I want to change this to 45. Can I do that? Let's see. As you can see, assignment to constant variable, and I am not able to see the result. So basically you can't change if you have made your variable with const. It will remain constant and you can't change that. Similarly, you are not able to change the value. How can you declare it again? That is against the law. Identifier name has already been declared. Okay, so let's brush it up again. With var, suppose you make a variable, you can change it and you can declare it again. Okay, you can use this var keyword again. With let, you can change your variable. You can change whatever the value that you have stored inside it. You can change it. So suppose initially it was Rupam, you can change it to Mayank if you like to, but you can't declare it again. It's not like that you can use your let keyword again. In case of const, it can neither be changed nor it can be declared again. I hope this is very clear. Now, if you want to like look at the use case, how this is useful to us. So suppose you want to create a variable which you don't care about. Okay, whether you define it again, you declare it again. Okay, I don't care about it. Even if I forget about it after writing 200 lines of code, I don't really care. So in that case, I can use var. But I want to be cautious that I can change it. I'll remember this variable and I can change it, but I don't want to declare it again. If I declare it again, I should be notified. In that case, you can use let. So that if you like forget about this creating this particular variable and you try to create this variable again, then you will be notified in your like error that you have already created this. Just don't try to attempt another chance. So suppose I create this let name, so it will like give you the error identify name has already been declared. So you will know that okay, I don't have to take this particular step. And when you want to keep a certain thing constant, you don't want to change it, you don't want to define it again, you don't want to just change it at any condition, you want to keep it exactly same as it is. In that case, you use const. So const number equals to 44, and as you can see, 44 is over here. So this is the basic difference between var, let, and const. If you have any doubt, you can ask. I'm here.
Rupam, can you comment again? Like the difference between where const and let. Like, can you just
Which
comment
part?
once? This the difference only. The it's like describe and define something like that. So declared or changed.
Yeah, that was what I was telling you, that in case of var, what you can do is, suppose I create this variable. So you can change the value. Okay, you can change its content, whatever you have in case of var, and you
Okay.
can create it again also if you want. So suppose I have written var again over here, that I can do. But in case of let, I can change the value. So suppose it was Rupam here, now I can change it to Mayank. But it's not like I can write let name equals to Shubham again. I can't use this let keyword now. In case of var, I was able to use this var keyword for value over here and over here two times, right? I can use it three times also. I can keep on declaring it again and again if I want. But in case of let, you can't use that. Once you write let, you can't use it again.
Okay, so we can't create the another
Same
like
variable again.
variable.
Same
Yeah,
variable
same
again. You
variable
can't do
again.
that
Yeah.
in case of let. Yeah.
Or in case of different variable, we can't do it, right? In case of let.
No, no. If I want, I can create like another variable now. If I want to create last name, I can do that.
But the variable tends to be same. We can't do that.
No,
Like
no.
the
Yeah.
variable is name. Okay. So we cannot do it for the same variable, right?
Correct.
In let.
Correct.
In
Yeah.
case of let.
Right. And
And
in
in
case
case
of
of const, neither we changed it, neither we created, right?
right. Yeah.
Doesn't happen.
Right.
Okay. Okay. Oh, got it.
Yeah, Rupam, one doubt. Like at line number 25.
Mhm.
Like initially, I will not assign the value. Just I will declare the number as a const number, and in the second line, I will assign the value. And in the third
That will
line,
work.
again, if I try to
That will
change
work.
the yeah, like I will initially like only declare const number. In line number 26, I will assign the value number 45,
Mhm.
and again next line I will again reassign some value. Like
No, no, no,
it
no.
will not.
You can only assign the value once. If you have
Oh,
assigned it in the 26th line, then
yeah.
that will be it. You can't assign it in 27th line now.
Okay.
You can
Thank
only
you.
assign the value once.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Rupam,
Hello, sir.
I
Mhm.
have one doubt.
Yeah.
That if we are using const keyword and define an array, then can we change that element of an array
Yeah, we
later?
can change the elements of the array, and when we come to array, we'll discuss that. Okay. Don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyone else? Anyone else? Any other doubt? If you have any doubt, please ask. Let me check the message box also. In where we can change value and even variable we can redeclare, and in case of let we can change value but variable redeclaration is not possible, and in const we cannot even change value. Yes, correct, perfect. Any other doubt? Anyone else? If you have any doubt you can let me know. Either you can unmute yourself or just drop it in the message box. I'll answer it. Okay, let's have a look at a very simple topic. Let's just quickly do that. Okay, the difference between double quotes and single quotes. Which one should you use and where should you use it? So basically, if you ask me, there is no different as such. Okay, suppose I'm creating const name equals to Rupam. Okay, whether I created something like this or whether I create my variable something like this, it doesn't really matter. Whether I write it in double quotes or single quotes, I will get the same results. It doesn't really matter. Okay, but if I save this, you can see that they both come in double quotes because I have an extension called prettier, so it is making my code look prettier, and that is why I'm getting these double quotes in both of them. But if you have not yet installed the like extension and you are writing something like this, it doesn't really matter. Both are fine. You can use either of them. You will get the same result. Then what is the use of double quotes or single quote? There must be some difference, na? Yeah, there is. Let's see that. So suppose I'll create let name equals to Rupam. Okay, and I have to create a sentence. So suppose I'll say let sentence equals to, and in that sentence I have to write it something like this, that Rupam's courses are best. Okay, well, not my courses but workshops are best. Okay, I have to just say that, I have to brag about this. So how do I do that? Like, how can I write this single quote? Now if I use this single quote, look, it is showing me error that okay, some mistake is over here. And what's the mistake? It will start my single quote from here, okay, and it will start my string, it will continue till here, and it will end it over here. But I want this single quote. How do I get this? So in that case, what you can do is you can write forward slash, and that will be it. So now I'll be able to see that apostrophe s that I want to have a look at. So suppose I'll write console.log sentence. I'll save this, and now I can see this apostrophe s. Okay, currently you can see these double quotes, but believe me, you will not see these double quotes if you don't have that extension. In your case, this will work. Okay, and similarly, suppose I want to quote something and I would also want to use these double quotes. So suppose I want to quote my workshops. So in that case, what I'll do, I'll say forward slash double quote, forward slash, double quote. Now have a look. I can see Rupam's workshops are best. Okay. You are able to see single quote over here, but believe me, this will work. Okay. This will give you the same result. So whenever you have to use double quotes inside double quotes, then use forward slash. And when you want to use single quote inside single quotes, then again use forward slash. Okay, and inside single quotes, double quotes can be used without forward slash, and vice versa also. Inside double quotes, single quotes can be used without any forward slash. I hope it was not confusing. It was just a basic stuff. I hope it is very clear. Let's look at something new. Okay, enough of the boring stuff. Let's look at something new, and that is string concatenation. I'll keep this. Okay, I'll remove this, and I'll give you the coding, all the code notes. Okay, so whatever the code that I'm using, I'll provide it to you. Don't worry. Okay, I have it. It might be just a slight bit different, but almost the same example I have taken in that also. So you don't worry about that. I will provide it at the end of the lecture in your WhatsApp group. String concatenation. So basically string concatenation is nothing but combining string values. Combining string values. Okay, how do we do that? So in our case we'll be using, not a now, we'll look at that in the ES6 part. So suppose I have my name. I'll say const name equals to Rupam. Okay, and my last name is going to be Gupta. Okay, now I want to use this in a sentence. I want to make a sentence which says hello there, my full name is Rupam Gupta. So one thing is I can just go on and write console.log, and I can write it over here, hello there, my full name is Rupam Gupta, and you will be able to see the result. But the problem is I have already created variables and I want to use them. And as I'm like studying concatenation, so I want to see how can I use variables. So what you can do is you can just write this, hello there, my full name is. After this string ends, after these double quotes, just go on and write plus sign. Write name, this variable. Okay. As soon as you do this, you will see, hello there, my full name is Rupam. You will not see this name. Why? Because name is a variable, and you can see this, the value is Rupam. So I'll go over here and I'll say Rupam, and I'll say full name. Okay, last name. And I can see, hello there, my full name is Rupam Gupta. I need some gap between Rupam and Gupta, right? My name and last name. So what I'll do, after this plus sign, I'll give quotes, I'll make empty quotes, and I'll again write plus sign. So now look, hello there, my full name is, I'll get my name, then a gap, then my last name. So have a look at this. Hello there, my full name is Upam Gupta. So now I am able to combine three strings. Hello there, my full name is, this name variable, and this last name variable, and this empty string. What I can do is I can also create another variable. Let full name equals to name plus empty string and last name. And if I try to console.log full name now, I'll be able to see what? Rupam plus a certain cap, then Gupta. Rupam Gupta. Yep. So let's console.log this time. Hello there. My full name is full name. And if I do this, I get hello there, my full name is Rupam Gupta. Just as earlier, but using a less variable because I have created this variable over here by combining these two variables. Okay, let's have a look at one more example, then we'll take doubts. So suppose there is a website equals to Google. Okay, and I'll create a URL with this website. I'll say const URL equals to https://www dot plus website.com. Okay, and now if I console.log URL, what do you think I'll get? I'll get https://www dot website is Google, so google.com. Let's see. Here it is. If I click on this, I'll be taken to google.com. Now the thing is, if I change this to Yahoo, there you go. Okay, so yeah, this was one more example how you can combine strings if you want to. There is a simpler method with ES6. We'll discuss it, but currently you should know this. So if you have any doubt in this, do let me know. Any doubts?
Like Rupam, like there is, as I saw, like there is a one more usage, like using
There
backticks.
is a ES6 way, so I'll tell the backticks way also. But if you have any doubt in this, let me know. We'll discuss that also. We'll discuss everything. So I will not leave anything. Don't worry about that. Okay, we'll be covering each and every topic. So don't worry about the topics. Just focus on what you are being taught at the present moment. Okay, so just focus on that.
Rupam, can you just go to 6 line of code?
Mm-hmm.
In this variable last name. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
have you put the space before that after plus button?
No, it doesn't matter whether you put a space before plus button
But
or
it will
not.
generate same output, right?
Yeah, it will generate the same output.
Okay. Okay.
Anyone else? Any other doubt? Okay, then let's have a look at another way how you can do this. Or hear me out. Okay, so we'll see that later on. Okay, but definitely we'll see that. Don't worry about that. Probably tomorrow we'll see, or should I tell you right now? You'll probably forget about this then if I tell you right now. So just focus on this right now, and then we'll discuss the other way tomorrow. Okay, so make sure that you are good with this now. Any doubts in this? If you don't have any, I'll move forward. Check the message box. There aren't any doubts. Here also there aren't any doubts. Okay, then let's move on to our next topic, and that is going to be numbers. Just like we have worked with strings until now. Okay, we have seen how do we work with string. We just create a name, and suppose I have to create a string with a Rupam text. So what I'll do, I can just create it, and if I want to access it, I can write console.log name, and I will be able to see Rupam over here on my screen in my console. Completely fine with that. Now, how do we work with numbers? It's simple. You don't have to do anything fancy. Just don't write codes and write whatever number you want to. And that's it. Let name equals to 45, and now your name is having 45. Save this, go over there, and 45 is there. JavaScript is very forgiving, or you can say JavaScript is a loosely typed language. Loosely typed. And when I say loosely typed, I mean that it doesn't require declaring the type. So don't declare type. In most of the programming languages that you see, you have to declare whether it is a number, whether it is a string, whether it is an array, whether it is an object. You have to specify that, right? Object you don't have to mostly, but array, string, number, boolean, float. You have to specify all these things. But in case of JavaScript, you don't have to specify. If you have to write text, or if you have to write text, you write a text. If you have to write number, you write number. If you have to write array, write array. You don't have to specify what you are writing. Just keep doing your work. If I want to change this name to now Rupam, I don't have to specify that change this from number to string. I don't have to specify that. It will change to string. Earlier it was number, now it is a string. Doesn't really matter. No one cares. At least JavaScript don't. Okay. So yeah. Now let's have a look at some more examples. Suppose I create another number, and that is 2.456, and I'll create another number 3 with 2.456. Now if you look, they are completely different things. One is a string and one is a number. Why? Because one is written inside your quotes and one is not written inside quotes. Look, this is written inside quotes, so that means this is a string. This is not written inside your quotes, so that means this is a number. And if you look over here, you'll be able to see that. How? If you look closely, for number 2, if you look over here, this is black in color or brownish, basically, right? This is black in color. But if you look for number 3, which is a number, you can see that it is in blue in color. But it's not how you'll make the difference. Obviously, you'll make the difference by looking at over here that okay, this is a string because this is written inside quotes and this is a number. Okay, now there are simple operations that can be performed. So suppose I have to perform certain operations like addition, simple addition. If I have to apply, so I'll say add. You know what, I'll change this to number just to make things normal. And I can add number plus number 3, and if I console.log add here, okay, yeah, sorry. So 45 plus 2.456, and I can see 47.456 over here. Okay, so this number and number 3 are added and I can see the result. Similarly, I can perform a subtraction operation if I want to see the sub, and if I just console.log sub over here, I'll be able to see the results as 42.544. Similarly, if I want, I can multiply. I can multiply if I like to. So I'll give it mult, and here I'll mark asterisk sign. So basically, asterisk sign is used when I want to multiply something, and I'll write MULT, and I can see this result over. Similarly, you can use a division also if you want to see. Okay, so try that out. Try that division thing on your own. Now, there is a very interesting thing that can happen over here. Number 2 is a string and number 3 is a number. So what if I add both of them? What if I do something like this? Const new equals to number 2 plus number 3. Okay, I can't use new because it's a keyword which we'll see later on. Can I forget that? So let's write a result. Okay, and if I console.log result, what do you think we'll get as a result? What do you think? Can someone tell me what we'll get as a result? What we'll see in the console?
It will get concatenated.
Yeah, it will get concatenated. Why? Because this is a string and we are trying to add a string and a number. So if I use this plus sign, it is not acting as an addition, rather it is acting as that concatenation thing, where I'm trying to concatenate a string and a number. So if you look over here, you will see 2.4562 to 2.456. So they are attached together now. They are being concatenated with each other. But let's perform a second operation. Result 2 equals to number 2 minus number 3. And now if I console log this result 2, you will see very interesting observation that they have subtracted one from another. Why? Because now it's performing a simple operation. In the case of plus sign, it was performing concatenation, because in the case of concatenation we need plus sign, right? We use plus sign. So that is why in this case it was not performing addition, but in this case it is performing subtraction. And similarly, if I do it with the multiplication, then also same thing is going to happen. Let me show you. Have a look. Both the values number 2 and number 3 are multiplied now. So just in the case of plus sign, they act as being concatenated with each other if one is a string and the second is a number. Now your homework here will be trying out the same operations between two strings. Okay, so try that out and see what happens. I hope this is clear. Any doubts in this? If you have any doubt, please let me know in this number area that we have just covered for last 10 minutes. If you have any doubt, let me know.
So, Rupam, in terms of subtraction, okay,
Mm-hmm.
it will not concatenate, it will perform the operation actually, like the plus button indicates the concatenation operation, but
Yeah,
in terms of subtraction,
yeah,
so basically the script performs the particular operation,
right,
like
right.
which is a whatever it is, like subtraction, division, or multiplication,
Mm-hmm.
isn't it right?
Right, right, yeah.
Okay, got.
Perfect. Anybody else? Any other doubt? Okay then.
And
Um,
one more thing, like if I assign some variable,
hmm,
let's say you have written number 2, okay,
hmm.
but I want to return like number underscore 2. Will it work? Will the JavaScript work or not, or it will throw some error? Can you just tell me?
Number
like
two.
like the underscore, see what I'm trying to say is,
Hmm,
let me come over it again. So you have assigned a variable called number 2, okay.
hmm, hmm.
I have to break the two things like number underscore 2. So will underscore consider it as a variable in terms of JavaScript language, or it it will throw some error?
You will have to create that variable with the underscore sign then. If you create the variable with the underscore sign, you will be able to see it in the result. If you haven't created it and if you are trying to access it, then obviously it will throw error.
No. But my question is just to ask a basic thing. If let's say I created a variable called number underscore 2, and if
Number
I have to
underscore
check
two.
the,
Yeah,
yeah, and
yeah.
if I have to check the output for a variable number underscore 2,
Hmm.
so it will not throw error, it will accept it, right?
Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
So my question is, underscore is acceptable, right, in terms of
Yeah, I have
variable?
already told that numbers, letters, underscore, and dollar sign are accepted. These four things
Only
are
the
accepted.
keywords, or stop words, or something like the
Yeah, I have
variable
already
start with
told this.
digits.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you were
Okay.
like looking at the lecture properly, then I have already told this, that you can only use letters, digits, dollar sign, and a underscore. You can't use any other thing. You can't use a question mark. You can't use less than sign. You
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
use
yeah.
greater than sign
Yeah,
or
got.
anything else.
Yeah, just a basic doubt. That's it. Yeah.
Anyone else? Any other doubt? Okay, let's have a look at some very basic operations that you might need to use, and you'll love them. Like they are really, really useful. So suppose, so basically there are something called plus equals to sign, minus equals to, multiplication equals to, division equals to. Okay, and there is this increment operator, then there is decrement operator, and then there is modulus sign. Now this last thing that you see, this is known as modulus sign. Okay, or you can say modulus operator. So basically your modulus operator or modular operator, whatever you want to call it, modulus operator returns the remainder after division, or should I say after integer division. Okay, I'll explain it, don't worry, we'll take an example and we'll understand it very nicely. Suppose I have a number with num equals to 40. I want to increase 5 in this. I want to make it 45. So one way is what I can do is I can write 40 plus 5 and my number will be increased. Now if I look at my num, then it will be 45, right? There's a shortcut way how you can do that. You can just write num plus equals to, and it will be similar to what you were writing earlier, something like this, num equals to num plus 5. Right, earlier we were writing this and this was working just properly. Num equals to num plus 5, so basically it becomes 45. Now you don't have to write this, instead you can just write num plus equals to 5 and that will work out just fine. Okay, you can use this as many times as you want. So suppose I use it 4 times, so that means I increase the number by 20. So that means earlier it was 40, then it became 45, 50, 55 and 60. So if you look over here, we see 60. Okay, in the similar way, we can decrease a variable something like this, num equals to num minus 5, and we will be able to see that it is decreased by 5. So it will become 55. Again, not using this, what we can do is I can just write num minus equals to 5, and then also our value will be decreased by 5. I can use it as many times as I want. So just a simple operation, or you can say sign, that you can write. If you write plus equals to 5, then it will add 5. If you write minus equals to 5, then it will add 5. And suppose similarly, if I use num divided equals to 5, so what it will do? It will divide your number by 5. So basically, similar operation to this. Yeah. So it will divide your number by 5. Let's see if I'm telling the truth or not, or I'm just lying. Earlier it was 45. I divide it by 5 and you can see that your new number is 9 only. Okay, I hope it is very, very clear. Then I was talking about this modulus operator, right? So let's come to that first. I'll make slices equals to 10 and I'll make another variable children equals to 3. So basically what I want to do, I want to divide these 10 slices between 3 children. So what I'll do, I'll say const amount equals to slices divided by children. So this is a simple division operation, and if you look at console.log amount, you can see that division has been performed and I can see 3.3333 and at last it is giving me 5. So that is fine. But I want to find that after integer division, so suppose there are 10 slices and I want to divide it among 3 children, and if I divide for each children, I'll give 3 slices, then 1 is remaining, right? So that is the remainder when you divide 10 by 3. How can you calculate that 1? So that is done with the help of your modulus operator. In that case, you can write something like this, amount equals to slice percentile children console.log amount. Okay, and this is supposed to be slices and not slice. Now you'll be able to see the remainder. So earlier it was 10 divided by 3 and remainder was 1. So I can see the 1 over. Okay, so now this modulus operator gives you what? It gives you remainder. Okay. I hope this is clear. Any doubts in this? Any doubts in this plus equals to sign, minus equals to sign, division equals to sign, or this modulus operator? If you have any doubt, do let me know. In the similar way, you can also use multiply equals to sign. Okay, so basically asterisk equals to sign, that can also be used. I'll tell you about this increment and decrement operator in a bit, but if you have any doubt in this part currently, just you can ask me, right?
No doubt, Rupal. Clear.
Yeah, any doubts? If you have any doubt, you can either unmute yourself or you can drop it in the message box. All right, so as you can see, there are no doubts. Let's move forward and let's have a look at this increment and decrement operator. So just like your plus equals to sign, what increment and decrement operator does is it increment operator, or you can say plus plus sign, increases your value by 1. Okay, it increases your value by 1, and decrement operator basically decreases your value by 1. Okay, the increment operator increases your value by 1 and decrement operator decreases your value by 1. So suppose I have a number variable with a value of 13. Okay, and if I console.log this number, you can see 13 at the end, right? You can see that. Now what I'll do, I'll write number plus plus, and what this will do, this will increase my number by 1. So look, 14. If I do it again, it will become 15. If I do it again, it will become 16. And if I do the reverse operation, if I start writing number minus minus, so now that will be decrement operator. So that will decrease my value by 1. So what it has become? It has become 16, and I'm writing number minus minus, so now it will become 15. If I do it again, 14. If I do it again, 13. If I do it again, 12. If I do it again, 11. Okay, I hope you got that. So yeah, it's as simple as that. Any doubts in this? If you have any doubt, do let me know. Okay, then I think this is enough for today, and I think we have already almost completed 2 hours. So I think this is a good amount of content. Now, what I want from you is just go, have some dinner, whatever you want to do. Just do that for some time. Before coming into tomorrow's lecture, make sure that you have practiced all the things that we have covered until now. Okay, make sure of that apart from my own example, you have taken enough example by yourselves also. Okay, make a very great note on that it doesn't matter how much I teach you, if you don't practice by yourself, then believe me, you will not be able to learn JavaScript or be it any other thing. So you will have to practice. So make sure before you come into tomorrow's lecture, make sure you have practiced enough. Okay, so yeah, this is it for today. I hope you liked it. Just let me know how was the lecture, did you like it, whatever, you can write it in the message box. Okay, so yeah, see you all tomorrow. Bye bye. If you have any doubt, you can ask. I'm here for a few more minutes. You can ask it.
Like you will share the resources in WhatsApp group.
Yeah, all the things, all the resources, all the links, all the study material, recording sessions, everything will come into the WhatsApp group only. You don't have to ask for anything. You don't have to remind me. It will all come into the WhatsApp group. By tomorrow,
Code itself, right?
by tomorrow you will also get the link for community group. You can join that, and there you will be able to ask your doubts from tomorrow onwards. Okay.
We'll share the code, right?
Yeah, I'll share the code.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Recording will be live within 3 to 4 hours, and that will also be shared into your WhatsApp group. Again, I'm repeating, the recording will only be accessible with your registered email ID. You will not be able to access it with any other email ID. So make a great note on that as well. Okay, see you all tomorrow. Bye bye.